this, you know, think about the diversity that you did get just in the short amount of time that we're here. First off, what's this shell?
Oyster.
An oyster. Mollusk. And yeah, it's in the phylum Mollusca. It's a bivalve, okay? And if you notice, when you picked up oyster shells, you may have noticed that they were attached to each other, right? Oysters have to have something hard to attach to. So when the oyster fisherman actually breaks the shell, gets it open, cuts through that little muscle, they take the animal out, okay? And then what do they do with the shells? They put them back into the Mississippi Sound. So hope that, you know, that will give a hard substrate for other oysters. In the state of Alabama, in order to keep an oyster, it has to be 3 inches in length. So these probably wouldn't be big enough, right, to keep. Our oyster beds have been closed pretty much all year due to, number one, we had a red tide, which is not a good thing, about a month ago. And then also the population is so low since Hurricane Katrina because you caught 2 of the #1 predators of oysters. And I know we kept one of them.
I saw one a couple
Those things
ago.
that float.
There's one.
Where did they go?
Oh, the one with the drill or whatever?
Yeah, I'm looking for the real, here. See that real snail right there? That's called an oyster drill snail. And guess what he loves to eat?
Oysters.
Oysters. And he's got a powerful tongue called a radula that he will drill in and keep drilling until he eats that oysters. And since Hurricane Katrina, these have really come in, okay? At the Sea Lab, we raise oysters from when they're little bitty planktonic to about 3 inches in length, and then we go put them back out in the bay in hopes to get that population up. Now, if the oil spill comes in, what do oysters eat? Plankton. They're a filter feeder, so if they're filtering in that crude oil, is that going to be a good thing? No. So that's why, you know, a lot on the oyster population is riding that we keep our waters clean. This was really cool. I hadn't seen one of these in a long time. This was the one fish that I asked you not to pick up. It was a catfish. And if you notice at the beach, we saw a couple of catfish. There's where the spine is, but this is the back part of a catfish. People call it the crucifix fish because it looks like a cross, but that's actually from a hardhead catfish. That's kind of neat. I hadn't seen one of those in a while. Okay. And then also, and I want you to notice the size of everything. Pretty small. This is an Atlantic croaker. Guess why he's called a croaker? Because he makes a croaking sound. And look at it. Look at his little mouth. It's almost like a vacuum cleaner. You can actually, can you hear him croaking? Well, he's not doing it anymore. But he makes a croaking sound in order to communicate. But this is a very important fish in Mobile Bay, okay? Because it is on the market for us to eat. Then these are all, the majority we did catch was croaker. But we did get, and this was really cool, I hadn't seen one of these. This is a baby needle nose. And the reason it's called a needle nose, look at it, look at it. And if when it gets bigger, you know, the mouth will be like that and it's got big teeth, so what does that tell you?
They get up to like
Predator.
Yeah, he's a carnivore. Yeah, they can get up like that. So that's a little baby needle nose. And then also we got 2 different species. Well, let me talk about this one. This crab is a blue crab. But instead of him being hard, he's very soft. What's he doing?
shedding.
Yeah.
Shedding, molting. And so when they're really soft like this, they come into the marsh to kind of hide out. Pass that around so y'all can see that.
Somebody else.
I can't get you to touch anything.
Creepy.
Creepy?
You drop that on me, I beat you.
Purposely drop it on.
And let me tell you, you get soft-shell crabs in a restaurant, they're very expensive. That's a delicacy.
I know, they taste so good.
They do taste good. And look at that little baby blue crab. So keep in mind, you know, when you get back in the St. Louis area, keep up with the news, see what this oil is doing. But that's why, because all these little babies are growing up out here.
Why are they letting all the oil leak out?
We're not. The oil leak was an explosion. It was an accident. And your teachers were asking me, had I ever heard of anything like this in the Gulf before? No. This is unprecedented. Never had it happen before.
Okay, guys, take a look. This is a big one in the Gulf.
Is
big
a
one.
shrimp. Okay, and this is the shrimp that we like to eat. If you eat shrimp, you know, in the St. Louis area, you're probably eating this species. And he's still pretty small. And this is, shrimp season was supposed to open in about a week. And notice the antennas. Now we may get some shrimp when you go out on the boat tomorrow that are a lot larger, but that is a baby brown shrimp, and that's the one that's a big industry down here. Okay, and then also we did get some little clear shrimp, and those are full grown, called grass shrimp, that are in this container also. And we got a striped fish here called a killifish, and he lives in the marsh pretty regularly. And then growing on these oyster drill, what is that right there? Those are barnacles, and is barnacle a live animal?
Oh.
Yeah, and once they attach to something, they're there for life, and they feed off of plankton also. You know, so that's another example.
So, yeah, plankton all gets
The base of the food chain, absolutely. That's why, you know, that's what the big concern is. All right, if you didn't get to touch something, look at that snail. Look at him.
Pull him out.
I'm trying. See, there he is going back in his shell. That's it. So we caught
Yeah, you
a
can
couple
just-
of them here.
Just give it.
All right. Any questions
That's
or
engagements
comments?
there, man.
I did bring a, because I had a
It
Marsh
is.
strip this